Welcome, everyone, to your December 2022 forecast. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. For a personal reading or for a coaching session, go ahead and book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Forecasts for each life path number for 2023 are up now. Be sure to check yours out if you haven't already, as we move from this 6-year into the vibration of a 7-year for 2023. Lots of interesting stuff coming up. This, of course, is a great time to order, if you haven't already, to order your personal year ahead forecast for 2023. I have those on my website available, so head on over there and get yours today. Okay, so as always, first I'm going to take a look at the universal cycle for the month of December, and then we will break it down for each individual life path number. So December 2022 is a universal 9 cycle. And I really do actually love this energy as we begin to sort of close out the year and prepare to step into a new frequency. The energy of the 9 allows us to reflect on the past year, to slow down a bit and recap. What do we feel worked for us? What do we want to maybe make adjustments to moving forward? Or now that we know what we know, would we do anything differently if given the chance? While understanding that sometimes we need to take the chance ourselves instead of waiting for it to be given. Also, is there anything that we want to sort of close out and leave behind, sort of shed as we step into the new energy of 2023? Any old belief systems, habits, grudges, and so on. This is a great time to leave those behind. This is actually a really beautiful and symbolic energy to shed that old skin, sort of like a snake, and leave it behind as we move much lighter and freer into a new chapter. So make time for self-reflection this month and honor what comes up for you without judgment, right? So if you feel strongly about something, move in that direction, follow it, right? See where it takes you. This can be a great month for getting organized and clearing out the clutter, body, mind, and spirit. And again, it's kind of like when you're going through old things, like, from your childhood or from your teen years or whatever, right? Or last year. And there's sentimental value to some of those things, right? Again, whether it's a belief, whether it's a person, whether it's a thing, whatever. There can be some attachment to those things, some sentimental value. And so it can be challenging to release it, to let it go. And so then we start to create clutter, right? We start to hold on to things that are no longer relevant, that don't really assist us in any way, that aren't aiding or adding to our journey. And so they just sort of take up space, body, mind, spirit, and they don't really need to be there any longer. And so those are the things that we sort of really need to take a look at and see, where can we release these things? Where can we move beyond them? And again, clear the space for something new to come in. And it can be a little challenging because we've got that, there's that nostalgia to it, that sentimental value. And so just have to find a way to honor it and release it and move forward. And this is a great time to do it during a 9 energy. This can be an incredibly active period for dreaming and imagination. So pay very close attention to your daydreams, to your night dreams, and see where they're taking you now. New plans, new ideas can come in through these dreams. And with such an extremely vivid imagination, this can be a beautifully creative period for turning those dreams into reality come 2023. Allow the ideas to germinate now. Write them down, play with them, be open to what comes in, no matter how big they are, no matter how outside the box they are. This is an energy to play with those, to follow them, to explore, to let your imagination run wild. This isn't necessarily the energy to begin implementing or to, begin creating whatever those big ideas are, but explore them. explore them. Allow your imagination to run wild, follow those dreams, write those dreams down. And, if you are telling yourself that you're not capable of doing something that you're dreaming about, deconstruct that. Why are you telling yourself that? What are the obstacles? How can you overcome those obstacles? Who do you need to reach out to who maybe has strengths in those areas that you have some limitations or some weaknesses? This is a great time to start that planning process, to explore. So use this month and the magic of this month in that way. And allow yourself to dream big, allow yourself to dream outside the box, and to start planning how you'll, achieve those big dreams. Pay attention to your thoughts this month. Where are they trying to take you? Can you explore further? Are there thoughts worth grabbing onto and doing something with? And are there thoughts that are keeping you sort of stuck, right? Because those thoughts that are keeping you stuck, right? Those thoughts that come in that are sort of holding you in one place. They're trying to show you where potentially there's some deeper work to be done, right? And so everything sort of serves a purpose, right? And so even those thoughts that were like, are more negative or again, kind of holding us back, there's something deeper there to be looked at. And so those thoughts coming in are highlighting those areas for us. So pay attention to them. You don't have to grab onto them. You don't have to, do anything with them other than, again, to kind of deconstruct them, to look at sort of the root cause of them, and sort of go from there. But pay attention to your thoughts this month, especially under a 9 energy. Your dreams, your daydreams, your thoughts, all these things can hold a lot of deeper meaning this month, more so than under other energies. So just pay attention. This month can feel sort of, like I said, very ethereal, more imagination, more ideas, more feelings floating about. Play in this lofty realm and explore, right? But also find ways to stay grounded and in your body. You need to be present to have the full experience that this 9 energy can bring this month. So your dreams and visions this month can serve as the guidepost for the future direction that you're meant to follow. But you have to stay present and grounded to sort of see them through, right? To start that process, to experience the human experience, right? With 9 energy, the channel to the unseen is wide open. So again, see what comes through for you and try to have fun with it, right? Again, take the pressure off, just kind of flow with it. By exploring something, you're not obligated to follow through with it, right? You're just seeing where it takes you and seeing if there's a connection and seeing if it feels right for you. If it doesn't, you release it. If it does, then continue to explore, right? So this is a beautiful energy for all of that. So again, give yourself the permission to dream big, to play in the world of imagination, because that's where it all begins when it comes to creation and creating the life of your dreams. And what a perfect time to be exploring as we sit at the cusp of a new year and a new energetic vibration for 2023. So this month, the energy of the 9 sort of invites us to stay present while considering changes. Okay, before we get into the individual life path numbers, I want to wish you all a very happy holiday season and a very joyous new year. All right, let's take a look at the individual life path numbers now. Life path number 4. So I pulled an animal spirit message for us for December. And the deck that I use also has sort of like mythical creatures. And so it's interesting. We got the centaur. And of course, the centaur is traditionally, or sort of, in sort of lore, is like half human, half horse. But what's interesting is in this picture, it's depicted as half human, half deer. So, which I love, because deer for me is a power animal. So anyway, this is really beautiful. what came through with Centaur is this energy of like untamed nature. So letting your hair down and just, understanding that you can be holy and wild at the same time. And so letting that wild side out and playing and exploring. And again, we go back to the energy that we're all looking at collectively with this 9 energy around imagination. Sometimes with 4s, it can be such a very determined energy, a very ambitious energy, and it can sometimes lean more towards rigidity. And so kind of getting like rigid in your thoughts and like your method, whatever. And we lose that imagination. We lose that creative side of what we're meant to do in this lifetime. And so we stop thinking outside the box and we get stuck within the box. And so I do think it's interesting that this like mythical creature came through for us for December. That's just like a reminder that the inspiration comes really from the imagination, right? And it's with the imagination that we can create new things, right? Things that haven't been done before. So there's just this call to really sort of step more into our untamed nature, and really explore that and see where it takes us. And it can feel a little bit like we're losing our footing type thing. And that can be a little bit scary at first, but it can also be a lot of fun. And so this is definitely going to be a month, I think, where 4s are going to be asked to loosen up a little bit and play a little bit more and just explore more. There is also something here where it's tied to sort of that master teacher energy and marksmanship. So really like expertise in something. So what I find interesting here is the way that it incorporates both, right? So we have like this human energy that is, like sort of that more creator, like inventor type energy, right? The expert at things and the critical thinker and like all those things. But then we also have that deer energy that's can be very playful and wild, right? And so there's definitely something here about incorporating both sides. So incorporating the imaginative side along with the expertise and merging the two and finding the beauty within that merge. So whatever that means for you, but there's definitely something here in December that we are being asked to continue to become the expert at whatever it is that we're becoming the expert at, but to also begin, to step into that master teacher energy. And what's interesting is that 22/4 energy is master level teacher, right? Like the spiritual teacher that masters the master builder, right? But that is also the master teacher. And so, and 4s also have a piece of that. Like we are meant to be building some kind of a legacy, building something solid that will last the test of time. That's why everything seems to take so long. And through that process, we are meant to be teaching others or sharing the experience with others in some way, sharing that medicine, right, of how we overcame whatever we had to overcome, how, what the steps look like to build whatever it is that we're building so that others can do it as well. Through their own experience. So my point being, there's definitely something here where we may be called this month to step into some kind of a leadership role where we are the one sharing that medicine, that we are the ones sharing those steps, right, with somebody else or with others, but in a really like fun way, like in a way that's like different, in a way that's unique for us, but that also brings the imagination to life. That can be possible as well. So don't be afraid to play this month. Don't be afraid to let your hair down, to step outside the box, to explore those big ideas, those inspirations that come through, no matter how silly they seem or how bizarre they seem. This is definitely a month to not be so rigid, right? To really open up your heart and your imagination and let it flow. Okay, so looking at the month of December, this is also interesting. And so we are working with not only the 9 energy that we're all working with collectively, but 4s are also working with the energy of the 13-4. So now if you're somebody listening and you have a 13-4 life path, you're going to be feeling this probably very significantly this month. I myself am also a 13-4, so I'm right there with you. But really what this can bring about, this 13-4 energy, or this, when it comes in as a cycle, what it's asking us to do is to let us know that there's some kind of transformation that could be coming through, right? 13-4 energy is like Pluto energy. It's death, transformation, rebirth. It's very scorpionic. And so it's very much about something closing out, some kind of transformation occurring so that something new can come in, right? So I do think it's interesting that 4s are moving through this energy in December, which is the end of this, end of one cycle as we step into the next cycle, right? In January 2023. So there could be something here where it could just be like you looking back over the last year and looking at all the transformation that's taken place, right? And really having some reflection about what it is that you want to begin to build in the new year, and really being serious about that, as well as exploring, right? And using the imagination and all of that. But with 13-4 energy, alongside of this like transformation that typically occurs, like death, transformation, rebirth, with the rebirth part, it's really important that you're building something of value, of honor, of beauty. The point being, like 13 energy is typically, it takes the grit, it takes the mud, and it creates something beautiful from it. And I typically like to sort of use the metaphor or the analogy of like 13-4 energy being similar to that of the pearl. So it's this energy that's going to take the grit, the debris, the sand, the dirt, whatever, the mud, and turn something really beautiful from that grit, right? Which would be the pearl, which takes time. So there's a lot that kind of goes into this, but I would say, since this is a cycle for December, there could be something that comes through for us around, again, death, transformation, rebirth, something closing out, something being released so that some transformation can take place, so that we can birth something new, something more beautiful, something beautiful from that grit, right? From that process. So that's very, very possible at this time. And I would say also the 13-4 energy is going to ask you to make sure that there's integrity behind whatever it is that you're building, that you're not building something for selfish reasons or something that would harm another or whatever, right? So there's a lot that goes into this, but because it is a cycle and it's more condensed, I really think that it's just asking us to take a look at what needs to close out, what do we need to release, and what is it that we want to build? What beautiful thing, and where do we want to continue to become the master? And it's also asking us to get serious, not to be serious about it, but to get serious about what it is that we want to build in 2023, right? So if it's like our own business or, I don't know, whatever it is, we need to really focus our energy on that and get serious about it and really move towards that, right? Because if we say we want to build a pearl, but then we're like also dabbling in something else and dabbling in something else and something else, we're not really focusing our energy on that pearl, on becoming the expert at that. And looking at all the ways that we can build that pearl where our hands are in too many pots. And so this 13-4 energy is going to be like, you need to get serious about whatever it is that you want to build and then follow through and really follow through. And so 2023 may be the year to do that. Okay. As we move through the month, on December 7th or 8th, depending on where you live within the world, we have a full moon that's coming through. And for us, we will be working with the energies of the 11 and the 3. I love this because this again is very creative, inspired energy. This 11 is asking us to take inspired action. So again, just similar to the 13-4, it's asking us to get serious about what we're passionate about, what it is that we want to build. or create or whatever, right? And to take that inspired action and to release what takes our inspiration away. So if we continue to show up to things that are uninspiring, we can't focus our energy on what inspires us. So the 11 is going to ask us to get really serious about what it is that inspires us and to focus our energy there and to release what is taking that inspiration away. And because it's a full moon, again, there's some kind of coming to completion, some kind of releasing, right? So we go back to the energy of the 13-4, which is that death, right? Which is metaphorical, so that there can be that transformation and the rebirth. And so the 11 is asking us to release what no longer inspires us and follow what inspires us. Take action from that place of inspiration. The 3 energy is asking us to be more social, more collaborative, more communicative, in what we need and where our limitations are, and then calling in the resources or the people to assist us in, wherever it is that we're lacking, they can bring things to the table so that we can get whatever done that we need to get done. The 3 energy, like I said, it's a very creative energy. So there's a lot going on this month for 4s around creation, around, again, like marksmanship, mastery, being that master teacher, whatever, but around something that really inspires us, around something that we want to build that's beautiful. And that not only has the potential to assist us, but can assist others as well. So a lot coming in here again around, this can be a very social time around this full moon as well. So just kind of make sure that you're sort of doing things in moderation and you're not overextending yourself. But there's really going to be a big call here to, again, say yes to the things that inspire you, that you want to do, right? That speak to your heart, and then say no to the things that don't. And people will have to move on from that. They'll have to get over it. That's just life, right? Because if we're putting our energy where it doesn't belong, or where we're not inspired, we're just wasting that energy, right? And we're wasting other people's time as well. Okay, so looking at the end of the month, we have a new moon that's coming in on December 23rd. So new moon being new ideas, new inspirations, new initiatives, taking initiative, starting something new, planting new seeds, making new intentions. We are working with 9 energy at the time of this new moon. So not only are we working with 9 energy collectively throughout December, we're working with 9 energy around this new moon. 4s are. And so with this, there probably is going to be something, I would say, again, where we have to be very present, but we're really being asked to entertain that imagination, those big inspirations that are coming through. And I go back to the energy of Centaur, where again, it's that untamed nature. So we couple that with sort of the more ethereal, mystical energy of the 9. There's something here around those channels being wide open. So pay attention, definitely pay attention to your dreams, 4s, around this new moon around the 23rd, because there could be some really big downloads that come through for you, some huge missing links, some golden nuggets that you are meant to explore and really explore. And they could be so far left field that you're just like, what? This is so different than what I'm used to. That's okay. This is that energy of play, of exploration, of imagination. Let your imagination run wild, especially around this new moon. And just see where it takes you. So this, I would say, if you didn't listen to the intro, definitely listen to the intro, because I think that for 4s, we're really going to feel this energy of the 9 sort of concentrated around this new moon, around the 23rd. So really pay attention to everything I sort of talked about at the intro, because I think that's going to be really relevant for us around this new moon. But definitely don't be afraid to explore and play and loosen the grip a little bit and close things out and clear that clutter so that you can really set some really strong intentions and focus that energy on the things and become the master at building your pearl, right? Something really, really beautiful. So this is really powerful energy for fours this month. I do think there's going to be a call to release the things that are taking our, sucking our inspiration, sucking our energy. And that can be people as well, right? This can be a time where we're leaving some people behind in 2022 and stepping into new relationships, new encounters, new collaborations in 2023, right? That are more aligned with the direction that we're moving. And that's okay, right? That contract with those people may have ended, though that sort of spiritual contract with those people may have ended, and that's okay. They've served their purpose, just like you serve their purpose in their experience. And so, but it's time to sort of clear that clutter. So with that, I will say, I hope that you all have a very beautiful holiday season. Happy holidays, happy new year, and I will see you all in 2023. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.